Welcome to Genred Off Book. I'm Katie.
I'm Elise.
And today we are interviewing one of the greats, Dinah. And Dinah, we're going to kick this off super simple. Tell us your name. Tell us how you know us. Tell us how you became a reader. And we'll get into the big questions from there.
Well, I think I'm going to go by just Dinah a la Cher or Madonna from now on. So thank you
Yeah.
for that. One name, Dinah with an H.
Yes. Very important, that age.
Yeah, it is. I'm so excited to be here. So who am I? Who is she? I'm Dinah Susan Alobeid. Oh God, I'm so many things, and most of those things are tired. Where did we meet? I want to talk about where we met first. So I met Elise at the Northeastern News
That's true.
100 years ago. No, just 20 years ago. And we were both little journalists working in the newsroom. And
That word
border,
was loose.
you were, yeah, loose.
We used that loosely for one semester, and which I realized I simply can't be a journalist. But I still hung out at the Northeastern News.
You still hung out with all of us journalists. And I'm so grateful for that because we're all still friends. And of course, by proxy, I met you, Katie, also in college.
Never forget that Halloween.
Oh,
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 Jasmine.
yes,
I
that's
actually,
right.
I actually did forget it until this moment right now, and it's popped back into my mind. It was, but yeah, I
We
never
were
forgot it.
we were deep in Alston and eating at the Uno's. Anyway, that's a whole other side story. But we've known each other for a really long time. And actually, Katie, you're the reason I met Greg. But
Yes,
again, another side story. My husband. Yeah, so we've known each other. This goes way back.
way back.
Way back. And I am a writer and a dancer, and I do comms for a tech company. And I am obsessed with reading, and I am obsessed with writing, and I'm starting my own podcast, which is all about music.
I know.
It's
Very
called
excited.
Play This at My Funeral, and it's a little bit dark, a little bit for you, Katie, a little darkness,
I love a
but a
little
lot,
dark.
but a lot of joy too. And who doesn't love some joy?
Yeah, and get ready for that crossover because I'm on an episode, and I would say that mine was in fact not dark at all. I feel like I maybe took a different route on the play this at my funeral.
But that's okay. I'll save a little for the season, of course, but that's the plot twist.
Yeah.
Maybe funerals and planning for our funerals can be really fucking celebratory.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how
Could
I
be
took it.
bright.
Could be bright. A very bright
Mm,
celebration of life.
a dance party,
Yeah, if you will.
if you will. Oh, and how did I start reading?
Yeah, tell us.
So that was a lot of questions in that first questions. I have been an avid reader since I was a kid. I was always reading the books that we got assigned at school: Number the Stars by Lois Lowry, Diary of Anne Frank, Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, all the classics. And I am that person who would get in trouble for reading under the covers with a flashlight because I needed to know what happened at the end of The Secret Garden. And I was just consuming all the Babysitter's Club books and dreaming of chilling my blueberries and milk behind a rock by the brook, a la Boxcar Children.
So very Elise, I feel like.
Yeah.
Although, fun fact, as a kid, I tried to read Boxcar Children and I said, "Get this away from me. I hate it. I don't like
Oh,
I don't know. I think I tried to read it when I was slightly too old. I think that's why.
maybe.
I think it's really for like grade school children, and I think I picked it up in like middle school and I was like, "What is
Absurd.
this drivel? Absurd." You were like,
I'm
"Living in a
way too
boxcar? Miss me." Says the girl who watched
unrealistic.
yeah, who's the girl who reads primarily about dragons now, but at the time,
Com-
not for me.
Completely unrealistic.
Yeah.
What is this, romantasy?
Yeah. Couldn't get behind those kids living in a boxcar, but here we are.
We made
Alright.
it.
We made it. We made it. Elise, why don't you kick it off with some questions? Okay, so first things first, what's your favorite genre and how did it win you over?
So I think I'm going to take your readers, your listeners, your
And
audio
readers.
readers on a little
Listen,
ride because my favorite genre is not genre fiction, because genre fiction is a term that is referred to for specific categories of books like science fiction, sci-fi romantasy, romantic comedy, high fantasy, vampire rom-coms, hockey romance, Regency period romance. Like there's so much specificity in it. And so my genre of preference is actually literary fiction slash upmarket fiction. And literary fiction is everything else. It is books that are maybe a little bit quieter in that they aren't having like these big plot twists and big boom crash bomb moments. And they're more about character development. They're more about getting to the heart of like, what is the meaning of life? Like socioeconomic grappling, multiculturalism, like grappling with like some bigger picture things. So like the anti-genre,
Oh.
it's really all about like understanding the human condition. It's a little bit philosophical and very ordinary life, which I think is the opposite of what Katie loves, which is like the escapism of
Yeah.
romantasy.
That is
Yeah.
was exactly what I was going to say. I was like, "That's tough. I'm good with this life, right? Like, I
Yeah.
don't need any more of it."
I
I
know.
always
I
go to literary fiction is like the conflict's mostly internal. Like, there's no like, and when you're doing genre fiction or something like that, it's the war, it's the dragons, it's magic, it's external. So like, you're really like, oh, the action is coming from the setting, from the genre. While in literary fiction, it's more internal with the main characters, or in between just two or three characters.
And upmarket fiction is a little bit of a newer category of fiction that publishers and authors use a lot. You can't necessarily find an upmarket fiction section at your local bookstore, but it's really about that beautiful language and execution of a fiction story that has some internal conflict, but with a commercial plot, something that is really entertaining, that pulls you through with like really good pacing. So it's a happy medium of both worlds without being squarely in a specific genre.
Yeah. I learned that from you. I use that all the time now, and I learned that from you.
Good.
I feel like we
You're
were walking
welcome.
and we're like walking in Riverside Park, and I was like, "Ooh, fascinating, fascinating delineation."
Well, because like your literary fiction is Joyce Carol Oates and Ernest Hemingway and Jennifer Egan and Toni Morrison. But the upmarket, like contemporary literary fiction authors are Lauren Groff and Celeste Ng and Barbara Kingsolver. And they're books that have big mass commercial appeal. They're bestsellers, but they are beautifully written and they use literary device and again, they're more about the internal conflict. You really summed it up beautifully, Elise.
That's the English major in me.
Mhm.
Market, that's new. I didn't learn about that in college, but
It's newer than our college
yeah,
days, that's
it is. It is.
why.
All right. What was the first book that hooked you then? Was it part of this genre or non-genre genre?
Like, the first book that hooked me as a reader, because I think that that's really tough because I've been reading so much since I was a kid. So I always go back to The Secret Garden because I read it before it became this, like, beloved, weird childhood movie,
Yeah. Ooh.
and and the discovery of this walled English garden and this like sickly child and friendship in unexpected places and just like making the seeds grow again. I mean, it's just beautiful, beautiful literature. And I
How
think
old were you?
I was young. I was probably 7 when I read that book, I
Baby
I
think.
was
Dina
gonna
just
say,
being
talk about
like,
an internal conflict. That was the beginning of your like,
Good luck, mom and dad. I mean, you got your hands full still. So, yeah. Yeah, that book, I think. That book really made me a reader.
I love that.
that jives. That
I love
jives in a really hard way.
I honestly The Secret Garden the movie was tough. I feel like. I felt like it was a little dark for a kids movie.
You know what I get it confused with all the time?
A
Obviously
Little
not, but like,
Princess.
yes, The Little Princess, exactly right.
I knew you were going to say that. I
I kn
knew
I
it.
think about The
I
Little Princess all the time, and
That
then
was
so do
sometimes
so
I. I think about that more than I should.
I know it was so heavy. Like, oh no.
Can
that's
we
my
just
original childhood copy of The Little Princess. I don't
let's
know where
do
the
a
dust jacket went.
Oh, who needs the dust jacket? That is gorgeous.
Oh my
We should
God.
do a buddy reread of it.
Look at this inside, actually. Gorgeous.
Oh. Oh, I like that.
Collector's item.
I
I
know.
know. Wow. Who knew? I didn't know you had that.
Yeah, some things I kept with me. Some things mom and dad couldn't give away because I kept them with me. But
Orphans played such a big role in our childhood from like fiction and film. And
I
we don't
know.
hear about orphans a lot now.
No, like Newsies, come on.
Oh, Newsies,
Yeah.
don't even. Let's not go there. You know she's gonna do some choreography.
I was
What's
using
this?
What
a
is
phone card. Remember phone cards that like you could use a payphone? The last time this was apparently a bookmark I was using. So the last time I reread this, I was old enough to be using some sort of
phone
phone.
card?
From Avis, the rental car company?
Apparently.
I have a
Global phone
lot.
pass.
Wow, that's kind of confusing there, Elise.
Check your old books, guys. Never know what's going to be in there. Also, an origami. That makes sense, though.
Yeah,
That tracks.
Yeah,
that tracks.
crafting, yeah.
Yeah.
Crafting and books. It's who Elise is.
All right, I've got a question
Yeah.
for you, Dinah.
Hit me.
All right, so if someone is new to your beloved genre, not genre, what would be the book that you would say you should give this a try? Like maybe me, even.
Okay. Oh, well, I have such a good one for you. I have such a good one for you. And I don't know if you've read it. It's called Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Have you read
Okay.
it?
I have not read it.
Okay. It came out just a couple of years ago and it was highly publicized. Everyone raves about it. And those are the books that I hate
Of course.
because I just doubt that it's going to give me what I want, which is a great plot, a great story, but also gorgeous writing
Yeah.
that is going to make me cry, make me stop and put the book down and like sit back and like clutch my heart and like feel like I am part of it. So Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow is a beautiful contemporary story. And plot-wise, it's about creating video games, which you would love.
Oh, I would love that.
However, going deeper, the story is about friendship and love and your worth as a person and the differences in your identity. And I'm talking about like decades spanning friendship
Okay.
and how we show up for the people that are important to us. And there's a little bit of nostalgia because it starts in like the 90s, early aughts, college days in Boston.
Ooh. Oh, whoa.
But the language, what surprised, I gave it a chance and I was like, oh, fine, I'll read it. And I was like, oh, this is worth the hype. And I say that so rarely. I read Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo
Mm-hmm.
because I was like, oh, the hype. I read it in 48 hours and I was like, meh, which I know is an unpopular opinion. I think the story is good, really interesting premise. I think that there isn't enough time in this precious life to read books that are just like, then this happened, then this happened, then this happened. She said, he said, then this happened, then this happened. I just felt bored with it because there was no attention to language at all. And I feel like even with like rom-com, romantasy, a couple of years ago, I read a few Regency era romances by Diana Quincy, who's an
Classic.
Arab American author,
Yeah.
and she like infuses Arabic language and food and culture, which I love because I'm Arab and that's how I write as well. And even that was like entertaining language.
Yeah.
But Seven Husbands would not do it for me. But Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow
Okay.
and I was like sobbing for the back half of the book because it was very, much like life, there's tragedy. But it's a book that I think is just so worth it. So anyone who is just like very much like a sci-fi reader or they only read hockey romances. If you want to try something more upmarket, more literary, I think that's a great gateway drug.
We actually have it in our library, Katie. Tomorrow.
You know what? Like now that I think about it, I feel like I do
Did you read it?
remember. I didn't read it, but
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure Elise read it. That's why we have it.
You own it.
Yeah, it's
Why
like, yeah,
we-
we're trying to rebuild this library.
I
Although
know.
so-
It's so
yes,
good.
but we did find it in our local used bookstore, which is how I'm trying to do this. So yes, it was
Good.
purchased. Very cool. All right, and then what would you suggest to somebody who's fully converted, fully only reading literary fiction? Like, what's like an advanced book for somebody?
I
Who's
have a
fully
couple
invested?
of I have a
Ooh,
couple of
oh, you come
suggestions.
very prepared. Okay, it is.
I've come prepared. So I'm going to recommend these three for someone who is already reading literary and upmarket fiction. Otessa Moshfegh's My Year of Rest and Relaxation, which is about a recent Columbia grad working in New York City in the year 2000 and the like ingenue, ennui, what am I doing with my life?
Mm.
And at first, I felt this book was super exhausting, and I just kept reading it because I thought it was really well written. And I thought it was interesting because it's very much an unlikable protagonist. And as we careen toward the end of the book, it just like hits you really, really, really hard. Very, very excellent language in this. And then Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler, which I think is the book that made me take my writing seriously. I read it when it came out in 2016. It became a Showtime show as well. It's about a girl from the Midwest who comes to the city and she's a server at this really fancy restaurant and girlfriend's trying to be a writer, ain't we all?
Yeah.
But the food writing in it is so good. This book is like so luscious and savory and decadent. And like the writing in it is so beautiful. I
It's a
loved it.
favorite of mine. I read it because of all my work in kitchens. And then I gave it to
Yeah.
Amanda, actually, our other sister. I was like, "Amanda, you have to read it." Amanda loves it too. It's very accurate to what working in, like, a restaurant is like.
It's like the fictionalized version of Kitchen Confidential.
Oh. But with
For
the
a
but with front of the house. Like, I mean, the back of the house is there,
yes,
but
yes,
it's
yes,
more for the
yes.
service. The back of the house plays a role, but it's but yeah,
Yes.
with more like servers.
Yes, yes, yes. And then this last one is a doozy. Fates and Furies by Lauren Graff. And you're wondering, how do I know the name Lauren Graff? She is a very well-known fiction writer who she's like prize winning. She also wrote this short story collection called Florida, which was the inspiration for the Taylor Swift and Florence and the Machine song Florida.
Florida.
This
Where's your backing for that?
it's
Where's your sources?
it is well known.
That's
Um
the first I'm hearing of it, and I'm a scholar.
what?
I'm a Taylor Swift scholar. So, yeah.
Okay.
Ooh, Elise.
We're gonna have
Yeah, well, we
here
can
we
take this
go.
offline, you know?
We'll take this
We can maybe
offline, but
take it, I mean,
here's
Taylor
an
Swift has
Elle
been quoted
magazine. Mhm.
about what this is a oh, wait, where are
Here
you getting it from?
here's an I've got an Elle magazine article I'm gonna pull up for you
Okay.
because
I'll put in the read it to me now, put it in the show notes. Oh, I could be
Lauren
proven
Gruff.
wrong.
I think it is pretty well documented that here, hold on. Taylor Swift's song Florida was inspired by Lauren Groff's short story collection Florida. Florence Welch of Florence and the Machine confirmed that Groff's book about the disquieting and atmospheric nature of Florida heavily influenced the song's mood and lyrical themes.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, I mean,
Elise,
I'll take it.
you put
Tay Tay said it was Dateline, but we can there
Oh,
can be more than one thing. There can be more than one thing that goes into a song.
there is the line in the song that is like me in the bathroom with a bottle of wine, which is like
Yeah.
directly from the book, from the
Okay.
short story collection. But I mean, you know, I don't want to put words in Tay Tay's mouth.
You know what?
I
You don't
just feel like
Florence
she's
Florence wrote this song too, and I
yes.
think this is the so
This
that makes
feels
sense.
Florence definitely reads Lauren Groff
yes.
and is a deep existentialist, like much like myself.
You
Fun
and
fact.
Florence have always been
Mhm.
so like each other.
Like so close.
Remember when we went
To see her at
to the Gov Ball
Gumball.
just for Florence, and we almost died in that crowd, but it was excellent.
That was 2015. What a time to be
What a
alive.
wild time. Okay, go. Sorry.
But just
Fates and
no.
Furies.
Fates and Furies. I buddy read this with my friend Nick DiDomizio, who's a rom-com writer. And it is about the two sides of a very unconventional marriage. The literary execution is wild. There's opera as a theme within it because literary fiction doesn't necessarily use tropes. We're going to get into that later, I'm sure, because you gals love to talk about your tropes.
We do.
But there's a lot of literary device, like where maybe a certain metaphor or allegory is like a stand-in for a bigger issue. But opera is a big theme in this. And it's just, I mean, this book is heavy.
Yeah.
And there's like God, there's a plot twist you don't see coming, and you're like, shit, this is dark. I gotta put this down. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm scared. Not
I like
horror
that.
scared, but like, oh, really gets you
Okay.
into the psyche of some interesting
Okay.
characters. Oh, one
I
more,
have
one
a
more.
I have heard of that book, but no one's explained it to me in quite the way.
I'm here to
I'm
help.
feeling
Yeah.
intrigued.
I'll bring it to you next time I see you. Feel free to. I love lending books and borrowing books from friends. One more, one quick one, one quick one. The
Okay.
Immortalists by Chloe Benjamin.
I've heard of this.
This book is really heartbreaking, but really beautiful about four siblings who get a psychic reading and find out when they'll all die when they're children. And you see the four paths they take, and it's a really gorgeous book, and it's makes you think a lot about your own mortality. And yeah, I mean, if you knew how it ended, when it ended, if you knew when it ended,
I know.
what
What
would
would
you
you
do
do?
differently? What would you do?
I don't know.
Make a podcast.
Yeah. Here we are. Living
All
the
right.
dream.
I know I took us on 500 tangents, but I just could talk about books all day.
No, that's perfect. All right, Katie, you go with the next question.
Okay. So, what do you think the biggest misconception, and I can already think of a few, that people have
That Katie
when
has.
when
That
talking
people,
about literary fiction?
it is elitist and snobby and boring and um yeah, did I capture it?
Yeah.
It's too real, too real. Way too real. I think those are the main gripes that people
Mhm.
have with fiction, with literary fiction.
I have an add-on surprise question going off outline. If you were to suggest a book that we would read for this podcast
Ooh.
in literary fiction, what would you suggest?
Oh. But I don't want you to hate it.
Well, don't I mean, you can also think about it a little bit. You'd have to it's Katie. It's Katie you're going to have to convince ultimately. But
Oh, I have two.
okay, yeah.
Writers and Lovers by Lily King. This is a quiet book, but it is so good. It
Okay.
is coming of age, trying to find yourself as an adult when you kind of are in a bit of a failure to launch, living in Boston in the 90s,
Hmm.
sort of like a grown up who's not yet a grown up and trying to figure things out. Lily King wrote Euphoria. She also has a new book out that I have a hold at the library for, and I'm forgetting the name off the top of my head. I'm sorry, Lily King. I love you so much. Euphoria was amazing. This book, I love this book so much. It is one of my so the first book I wrote, Bread and Butter. I'm not published yet. I still don't have an agent. So if you're listening, I am still looking for representation in upmarket fiction.
Yeah,
I
don't stop plugging.
I'll
Don't stop
never
plugging.
stop
Of
looking.
course.
Yeah, of course not. That's what
But
we're all here for.
Yeah.
my book, Bread and Butter, I use Writers and Lovers as a comp because it's about someone who is trying to figure out their life, even though they're kind of almost in the middle of life. So this one. And then the other one I was going to recommend is, I guess you could call it historical fiction. But it is, I guess I have two recommendations. So Elizabeth Gilbert, who's very well known for Eat, Pray, Love and Big Magic. She's also an incredible literary fiction writer, which people forget. She wrote the short story collection Pilgrims that was um, wonderful. And she wrote a bunch of other fiction books that are incredible, like City of Girls and The Signature of All Things. And The Signature of All Things is this like sweeping multi-generational book, and it's fiction and it's super interesting. But it is historical because I guess it takes place way back. But
City
yeah,
of Girls was great. I loved City
City
of
of
Girls.
Girls, but
Yeah.
that would be historical fiction. So I guess for Upmarket, I mean, like, why don't you guys read Fates and Furies? I want to see what Katie thinks of
Look at that face. Look
the.
at the face she's making.
I think that this is it.
You trying to shock me?
I can't. You got to stick with it, though.
Okay.
You
We'll
got to
see.
invest in it.
We'll
Okay.
we'll see, says
All right.
Katie.
All right.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. So, what do you think people miss about literary fiction when they dismiss it? Like, what do you think they're missing out on?
So I'm talking directly to Katie now.
Okay. Eye contact.
I know that not everyone cares about this and people just want to escape and like quickly find out what's going to happen and be really engaged and they're there for like the twists and turns. I think what you miss when you don't read any literary fiction is beautiful language, deep emotions, and writing, sometimes for the sake of the writing, for writing that has a deeper meaning. Because I think that, my God, there's an old philosophy quote: "The unexamined life is not worth living." Who is that? St. Thomas Aquinas or Plato? Sorry, misquoting some old
Lots of
philosophers from
old white guys,
those
but
old white guys from ancient Greece. But I think there's a lot to say about it. Listen, I get it. Escapism is super fun, and I love me some rom-com, some lightheartedness. I love to escape with music and just like listen to dancey music all the time. But I think that to better know ourselves, to build ever more empathy for the people who are not like us, to build ever more empathy for the people who are not like us, literary fiction and upmarket fiction is a really valuable tool and a way to just get to know ourselves and other people, even if we're scared to know ourselves. Katie,
It's just, I get it, right?
I know you get it.
Yeah, maybe I need to tap into my empathetic side that I don't have, or my emotions more.
Which you hate tapping into, but it's not even about that. I think coming across a sentence that packs into like one sentence this worldly wisdom about the way life is, I
Mhm.
feel always stops me in my tracks and makes you feel like a part of the world because you're like, "Oh, someone gets it." And I think by not reading literary fiction, you can sometimes miss that.
Okay. All right.
are you convinced, Katie?
I'm convinced that I can try anything, right?
Yep,
So
that's it. We can do hard
Oh,
things,
good.
Katie.
We can
we
do hard
can.
things.
We can absolutely do hard things. We can read hard books. Because of this podcast, I have read things completely outside of my comfort zone, and some I've really liked, some I've picked and not liked myself, thinking that this was going to be a book that was in my comfort zone, and it wasn't. So
You have
we
to
can do
just
it.
try it. You'll
Yeah,
never know.
I'll never know if I don't try.
That's a good attitude to have.
Well, speaking of comfort zones,
Mm.
what is your sort of comfort zone? Like a trope or a moment, a vibe? I know we're not talking about
Yes.
genre fiction, but something in literary fiction that you like to go back to?
Yeah, I gave this a lot of thought because tropes are not necessarily tropes. They are like stylistic choices or literary devices in literary and upmarket fiction. So I mentioned before allegory or metaphor or even like the subversion of tropes, a lack of a HEA, all of that good stuff. So when I think about my comfort zone, it's very much slice of life with a touch of fish out of water. And I
Okay.
end up writing this way a lot as well. Um, and I also like multi-generational stories. So there are a couple of great examples. Anne Patchett's Tom Lake and Napolitano's Hello Beautiful was a really lovely. Oh, that's a great upmarket book. I think that's really fun. That's a good book.
Okay.
Highly
All right.
recommend that. Um, I think books like that offer slice of life, but with some interesting plot points that move it along for someone who is really into fast pacey genre fiction would be looking for.
Ooh, okay. I feel like we're getting a lot of recs, Dina.
I have so many more. I have so
Oh,
many
it's
more. Like, how much time do we have? I just want to
Right.
like,
As much time as you want.
okay, great. So, no, like some other upmarket fiction books that are very much slice of life are Fault Lines by Emily Atami, which was this incredible debut novel about a young mother in Tokyo. Is a really beautiful, interesting book. Less by Andrew Sean Greer, which won the Pulitzer in 2018, which was super controversial because it's a quiet book. It's a quiet upmarket book about this guy on the cusp of turning 50, and he's a writer, and he's like meandering around the world doing these like half-assed award ceremonies and writing engagements and speaking engagements. And I think the way he writes is really funny and relatable. And I loved the book.
Yeah. I thought I had it
Um,
here, but I think I brought it down. That is a fun book.
it's a fun book. And okay, I'll just leave you with this. Heartburn by Nora Ephron. I would call that upmarket fiction. It is a thinly veiled work of fiction about Nora Ephron's own marriage demise, and it was made into a film with Meryl Streep. And Nora Ephron, if you don't know, she is a rom-com queen, but Heartburn is so relatable and the writing is really conversational. You feel like your bestie is telling you all about why she is about to blow up her marriage.
That's fun. I actually didn't know. You said I haven't even heard of that book. That missed my desk completely.
Heartburn?
No, I feel like
Yeah.
no,
I know.
I
I was gonna
think
say Nora Ephron as in the Nora Ephron, and it is
As
the Nora
in,
Ephron.
as in the Nora Ephron and her marriage and divorce from Carl Bernstein of Woodward and Bernstein?
Yeah, I know. I missed it
Okay.
completely.
Okay,
Missed it
this is
completely.
it's a short book and it's super entertaining and there is a very special salad dressing recipe in it. If you know what I mean.
I don't think I do.
Okay. All right. Let me give you some hints. Famous Brooklyn couple.
Oh, I do know what you're talking
Taxi
about.
cab, nanny, salad dressing. Things got wild.
With salad dressing?
Okay. I don't want to be like having.
Just tell Katie, we can edit it out.
Yeah, great.
Just
okay.
okay, I love that.
Okay.
I love it. I feel like I already know the answer to this question. But Dina, what do you think that your love of literary fiction, what does it say
Okay.
about you?
My love of literary fiction and upmarket fiction says a couple of things blatantly, which is I love words. I love thinking deeply. I love being very existential and questioning everything. I'm a bit of a pit bull in that way. I've had someone describe me. I'm a pit bull. I always want to like find out the truth and get the answer. I'm a little relentless, as my husband calls me.
That's not
I'm
surprising.
very relentless.
You are.
Whatever.
You are.
The way I am.
Remember when sometimes you'd like to say that you're easy breezy, and I say,
Yeah.
no, you've never once in your life been easy or breezy. Relentless?
I mean,
Yes. Passionate?
doesn't
All the time. Engaged, critical, ready for conversation. All of those things are true.
100%.
Easy breezy? Absolutely not.
think that that's what loving literary fiction says about me. All of those things that you just said. Yeah. And I think honestly, the most fun I'm having in life is being in deep conversation with my friends about existential topics or the latest celebrity gossip or anything just to get into it, get in the thick of it. I mean, that's why I started Play This at my funeral because I became obsessed with the idea of curating how my funeral's going to go.
Shocking, right?
Also very Dina.
And picking the music for it. But here's what I found out. Everyone else was obsessed with this idea. And we are getting into these like super deep conversations that aren't necessarily dark. They can be very uplifting. So yeah, any other psychological diagnoses you want to give to me?
Not for public consumption, Dina.
Not at this
Okay,
time.
put it in the text thread later.
Yeah. Well,
Put
I
it in
mean,
the text thread.
I feel like we've had conversations about some of those already. We can revisit them at a later time.
Okay. I'll set up an appointment.
Yeah.
And I'll bring a bottle or two of wine.
Yes.
All right. So if you could only read one genre, one type of book for the rest of your life, would it be literary fiction and upmarket fiction, or would you cheat?
I would not cheat. Your girl is loyal to literary fiction and upmarket fiction.
Not even a little rom-com? You love a little rom-com.
No,
once in a
stop.
while.
That's my answer. My cheat
Oh.
is rom-com. But I have some things to say about rom-com.
All
Tell
right,
us.
Emily Henry is the rom-com queen right now. And I loved the books Book Lovers and Beach Read. Two of her earlier books. Very,
Some of her strongest.
some of her strongest. However, I read Happy Place and I just finished A Great Big Beautiful Life on audiobook, actually inspired by you all. I'm not much of an audiobook person. Don't know if I'd do it again, but it was nice to have something to listen to after pre-K drop-off. And I didn't read Funny Story, and I still might, but I just feel like there are better rom-com writers out there and more interesting stories that are taking the genre to the next level. I think her stories are interesting. Her characters are very tropey.
I mean,
Grumpy Sunshine. As I was listening to it, all I could hear in my head was the two of you saying Grumpy Sunshine. And I was like, but too much. It's like, we get it, Hayden. We get it.
I know.
Relentlessly sunshiny. I'm forgetting the main
No,
female
and I
character.
said, I'm it's like
Shut up, Alice.
like her unrelenting optimism was nauseating for me.
I believe that was the quote from the episode.
And I was like, I'm so
Katie.
annoyed. I don't want to read it.
For me,
I
it
know.
was too much.
And
So
you're
what does
pretty
that tell
sunny.
you?
You're pretty sunny.
Thanks. See, that's the funny thing though, because everyone thinks that I'm so sunny, but I am moody as all hell. And like my favorite music is Damien Rice, which is like dark, sad girl music.
I know. You're so,
multifaceted.
you're so multifaceted.
That's it. It's multifaceted.
You're so much of everything.
You contain multitudes.
Yeah, you do contain multitudes.
Oh, I love it. I love it. But yeah, so the rom-coms that I've been really enjoying have been from Nicholas DiDomizio. Yes, he's a friend. The Gay Best Friend, Nearly Wed, Burn It All Down. He's got an upcoming novel, a rom-com coming out next year. It's more of like, it's called A Murder Most Camp. And I'm so excited for the world to read it. So pick it up and maybe you guys will add it to your TBRs. I think it's coming out May 2026. I'll send it to you. I'll send you everything.
Send it to us.
And Nick writes rom-com in such an interesting way. He's also like one, if not the only male writing rom-com. I mean, adult rom-com. He's such a brilliant, funny guy. And the writing is really relatable and interesting and amazing. And Georgia Clark, also a friend. I'm just plugging my friends, but they're all like famous authors. So lucky me. She writes queer ensemble rom-com, and it's so beautifully written, and the characters are so interesting. Her latest is Most Wonderful, which is like a Christmas queer rom-com, and it's super fun. It takes place in the Catskills. I think you'd love it, Katie.
I love Christmas.
I know.
Mean, who doesn't?
Maybe that's one of our December. Maybe that's one of our December reads, Katie.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Anytime. I will drop everything and get you a book recommendation. Don't you worry. My DMs are going to be flooded. One of my favorite things to do on Instagram is recommend books. And lastly, I'll mention Hannah Orenstein, also a friendly New York writer. She's really fun. She's written she's accomplished so much at such a young age. She's also the like lifestyle and sex editor at Bustle. She's incredible. But her latest book, Maine Characters Like the State of Maine, is a grown-up parent trap, and it is really fun and intriguing. Also, beautifully written. So it's just like these three authors are taking the genre to the next level, and it's like what I want to see. So, M. Hen, love you, but like let's kick it up a notch, and also let's spread the love because there are a lot of authors out there putting out incredible books that are just not getting as much fanfare because the algorithm, and we all have our faves, and the marketing dollars go sometimes only to certain places.
Yeah. Main Characters has been on my list for a while. I also think our mother might have read it.
Really?
She was very, I think she saw it somewhere and she was telling me that she
on
was
my Instagram.
Possibly. Lori. My mom is following you, so.
Oh, I did post a lot because I went to the book launch with Georgia Clark to Hannah's book launch, which was such a fun event. And in the book, one of the main characters is a sommelier, and Hannah had taken these courses to become like a wine aficionado. She was like a certification in it, and they had this great wine tasting at the book launch at the Strand. It was such a cool event. It was a cool event. I know. I should have brought you next time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We're always down for any event.
We're always down for books, wine, events, parties,
hanging out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. Well, I think we've gone through the list. Anything else?
Yeah, tell us. Is there anything?
Is there anything in that stack of books you didn't show us?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I got one. Actually, there's only one that I didn't show you. Oh, but this is historical fiction. It's historical.
That's okay. I'm familiar with this book, though. Everybody loves it.
I love this book. It's one of my favorite books of all time, All the Light We Cannot See by Anthony Doerr, another Pulitzer winner, I think 2015 or 2016. However, I don't read a ton of war books because I don't like war.
I
Who
don't.
likes war? I guess people like war. I'm not
I
into
do
war.
not. I do not like war.
This is about how war affects the civilians. It is so beautiful and I can never read it again. I love this book, but I can never read it again because it was that heartbreaking. And I still can recall scenes and moments, and that's upsetting enough. But it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful book.
Yeah.
And also, okay, one more.
Yeah.
You got to rein your girl in. This summer, I read All Fours by Miranda July. Have you heard of
Oh,
this book?
I don't think I have.
Oh boy. So I was less familiar with Miranda July, but I have a bunch of writing friends who said, okay, Dinah, after you turn 40, read this book. I'm not 40 yet. And I was like, I want to read it now. Why not? I've got an open space on my TBR. I see you looking at me all fours.
Okay.
And it is a really wild book about unconventionality and being a woman, being a perimenopausal woman in a society that just wants to fucking dismiss you,
Mhm.
and about what it means to like everything: motherhood, marriage, being an artist, being a friend, being a woman, being a member of the community, being someone who is sexual and capable of so much more than we let women be. It was wow. It is a book that will probably change you. I recommend it. I'm not saying it's like my favorite book in the world. It's just a book that I think is an important book.
Okay.
Definitely falls under Upmarket. No, I would actually call it more literary. Yeah.
Do we need to wait until we're 40?
I don't
Or
know. I don't know. I read it. I'm not 40 yet.
I
No.
I know, Dina. Some
Uh,
might
We are
recall
not
that we're the same age.
we are not 40. Yes, Katie and I are the same age as Florence Welch from
Yes.
Florence and the Machine. We were born in the same year. So now you know when we were born. Okay? Don't steal our identities. Yes, I don't know. I mean, I don't think like it doesn't change anything for me.
Okay.
It just I'm not like I'm not like
I should have
running
waited a
away from
year.
I'm not like I should have waited a year and like I'm gonna uproot my whole life and like run away from my responsibilities and just become a completely different person and
Yeah.
abandon everything you know and love about me. Just like become a monk in the woods or something.
No, we
Is,
don't want that.
is that an option after reading this book? After reading this book, you're
Yeah,
like,
right?
fuck it, mountain for me?
I think after reading this book, you're like, wow, anything's an option. I
Okay.
can do
Alright.
anything. The world is my oyster or my
Alright. Okay. Also a
California
good.
highway motel.
Ooh,
Okay.
okay.
Also a wreck. Quite the wreck, Dina. Wreck
I
machine.
feel like these show notes are going to be so long, but we will
Sorry.
put everything that
Yes.
Dina recommended.
We'll make maybe a blog post just there.
Yeah, maybe
Dina's
just
wrecks.
on
Guest
Dina.
Guest
Add
post.
it to my to-do list.
We
I
won't
We'll
make you do that.
write it for you. Katie is very proud of her website as well. She should be.
It's
She puts a lot of work
beautiful.
into it. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's full of so many details and so many recs. And so
It's
She will,
gorgeous.
you know, trying to
Beautiful
get that.
website.
she feels like she doesn't get enough views on it. So if anybody wants to go to genrepodcast.com, and it would make Katie really happy.
Yep, please. I'm putting content on there, right? We need to get SEO. We need the people to find the content.
SEO, AEO,
GEO.
yeah, yeah. Oh, what's happening now?
That's it. That's how.
That's it.
That's how the internet works.
That's
Yeah.
how yeah.
But thank you, Dina.
Yeah. Give
You're welcome.
give one last shout out to everybody where they can find you, what you're looking for. Tell us exactly when the
Okay.
podcast is launching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Play This at My Funeral podcast is launching November 1st with the first 3 episodes. Look for it on Spotify and Apple Music. You can also find us on Instagram at Play This at My Funeral podcast. Soon to be on TikTok and on YouTube because we're doing videos just like this. You can find me on my website, DinahSusanAlobeid.com. And that's DinahSusanAlobeid.com. And my Substack, because, your girl has so many hobbies.
Yep.
Write, Dance, Repeat. So write as in WRITE, Dance, Repeat on Substack. I send out a monthly newsletter that's really just meandering thoughts about trying to live a creative life while having a family and a full-time job and trying to be there for my friends and have a little fun and work out and just blah. And sometimes I do dance videos and I do a lot of book recs. So yeah, also my other Instagram, too many things. I know, she's too much. Dinah Susan Alobeid writes on Instagram. Find me, ask me for a book rec, send some love. Love to you all. I think genre is such an epic concept, and I'm really honored to be here.
Thank
We're
you.
honored to have you.
Thanks
Oh,
for joining us.
yes.
I love it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. I think that's it for us. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.